Heyo, and what is up, gang? Thank you for checking out Sledgehammer TV tonight. On tonight's episode of SmackDown, the in-ring action was just really great. Every single matchup tonight was hard fought, hard hitting. Every competitor, every person that stepped foot in that ring gave it their all tonight and gave us some of the best matches that we have seen on a regular weekly episode of SmackDown in quite some time. The problem comes with the fact that you realize we're 3 weeks away from the 2021 Royal Rumble, and the WWE decided on this SmackDown to give us two unnecessary title matches, one that featured an unnecessary title change, and the crowning of a new number one contender, and his name is the GM who's definitely not the GM, but is actually the GM, Adam Pearce. What? You might be asking, are you having a stroke, Nick? Are you not watching the same show? No, I said that. Adam Pearce is the number one contender to Roman Reigns and the Universal Championship. And if you don't think the hammer's coming down, then you got another thing coming, because that's what we do here, and it is time to bring the hammer down on this week's episode of SmackDown. And let's do it right here and right now. My name is Nick Nightmare. You are watching the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show's SmackDown Review and Reaction Show.
The Sledgehammer Wrestling Show.
There are three huge problems with Adam Pearce being the number one contender to the Universal Championship as we speak together tonight, right now. At this moment, that is a fact. And the three biggest things wrong with that is A, it's Adam Pearce being named the number one contender to the Universal Championship. It's then B, the fact that they kind of missed the boat on what they did here. It's not so much what they did with Adam Pearce, but how they did it, that they failed to capitalize on a great opportunity to throw more fuel to the fire to Roman Reigns versus Daniel Bryan's possible encounter at WrestleMania. With the gauntlet match being booked the way it was tonight, they failed to really do something that could have been special. Imagine instead of Shinsuke Nakamura being the one screwed out of the championship opportunity at the Royal Rumble, tonight it should have been Daniel Bryan, who had somewhat won the gauntlet match only to be screwed out of the opportunity by Roman Reigns because it was his fault that Adam Pearce was injected into this thing in the first place, and then doing what he would have done to Shinsuke, costing him the opportunity by forcing Adam Pearce to win the match. It definitely would have been better suited for that to be what happened. You could have got Daniel Bryan even more pissed, even more motivated to win at the Royal Rumble and set up an even longer arc for the storyline between these two, if that is in fact what we're getting, and hopefully they don't have some other stupid thing in mind for Roman Reigns. And the third thing that makes it really bad that Adam Pearce is the number one contender as of this moment is that if they spent maybe half as much time thinking about how to tell stories for some of the actual talent on the show, guys like Otis would have been probably really good in this scenario. Somebody like a Chad Gable would have been good, but they're not built up to the point where they can be seen as a viable threat to Roman Reigns. And whose fault is that? If you would spend half as much time figuring out how to push your actual talent as you did on this Adam Pearce stuff, you guys might actually be able to make some headway. So if you take all of that out of the equation, it's a friggin' poop hammer situation, and they're gonna get one right now. I gotta drop it on here because there's no way the WWE is gonna let this stand, right? We got 3 weeks to go, and Kevin Owens has been the brunt rather, of Roman Reigns' piss and vinegar as of late. And you gotta believe that over the course of the next couple of weeks, it's very possible Kevin Owens is going to end up substituting himself for Adam Pearce, or something might possibly happen to Mr. Adam Pearce, a man that hasn't wrestled since 2014 when he was in Ring of Honor, a man who Michael Cole himself on this very show said was not good enough to be in the WWE, and now he's getting a Universal title shot. I gotta believe that somewhere along the road to the Rumble, this is going to be offset, and we're not going to end up getting this match. We can have that hope. And if they wanted to do what they did tonight, they could have done better by making Daniel Bryan be the one to suffer. Other than that, I thought the Gauntlet match, with the exception of Sami Zayn being jobbed out so ridiculously to Rey Mysterio in the beginning, I thought the whole entire match was very good. However, the rest of the show, we had two unnecessary championship matchups. The first of which was the Intercontinental title. Now, a lot of people probably don't like the wonkiness that happened in the middle of that match, where they had the double pinfall following Apollo Crews suplexing Big E off the top rope, and there was a very awkward roll up, and all of their shoulders were pinned to the mat, so it was ruled as a draw by the WWE referee, only to have the match restart because Apollo Crews smacked Big E in the face, and then have Big E absolutely dominate Apollo Crews and get a definitive win in his first title defense here on this night. And I think that they should have quit while they were ahead. And the double pinfall was a great way to start a storyline between Apollo and Big E, leading towards the Royal Rumble, where you would traditionally have the Intercontinental Championship on the line. See, that's the problem. Because with a pay-per-view 3 weeks away, the right way to do it is to save the title matches for the big pay-per-view show. And you build up both participants on your way to that show, making them both look great. You build up the threat level to the champion, or you build up that, insurmountable odds for the underdog to overcome story, whatever story it is you're trying to tell for this particular title match, and it culminates at the pay-per-view. That's what's supposed to happen. You don't start the feuds with title matches, and you definitely don't start feuds with titles changing hands like they did in Exhibit B of illustrating my point of how they ruin the build to pay-per-views with the tag team championships for SmackDown tonight. It's time to get dirty, because the Dirty Dogs came out dressed like the Hart Foundation, and this was an excellent tag team matchup. I'm going to give these guys props for putting on a very entertaining match that told a pretty decent story, because Montez Ford tweaks his leg mid-match, and that would be the advantage that would give the Dirty Dogs the ability to win the tag team titles tonight. The problem is, there's a pay-per-view in 3 weeks, and if you were going to have the titles change hands, why not do it there? You're taking the lazy, uncreative, easy way out, because there are no other tag teams being used on SmackDown anyway. So what are we going to do? We'll give the belts to the heel team, even though they have no momentum and it makes no sense, and we'll have them beat the champions, only to have 3 weeks to give the baby faces the ability to chase the heels for the championship rematch that they are so desperately going to want. That's ineffective. What you do is you have Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins come out here tonight. Montez tweaks his leg. You can pull the same storyline, but you have the Street Profits overcome and retain the championships, which over the next course of the couple of episodes of SmackDown, you have Rude and Ziggler maybe get another rematch where they lose via countout or via disqualification or some sort of shenanigans that shouldn't be a way to give them the championships, but to prolong it where they can continue to attack Montez's leg so that when you get to the Royal Rumble, the Dirty Dogs can win the championships and it would be believable. because they have done so much damage to Montez Ford that you couldn't have him go over at that point, and it would just make more sense. Or even more so, if you didn't want to change the championships and you wanted to keep it on the Street Profits, you tell the same story and you just have them continue to overcome the challenge being put forth by the Dirty Dogs. And they did the same thing, as we said, with the Intercontinental Championship. You gave it some steam, you gave it a little bit of a storyline, but then you immediately took it away by having Big E pretty much squash Apollo for the second half of that match. I thought Apollo looked very good in this outing. Big E gave his all. Like I said, everybody that stepped foot in the ring tonight gave us an absolutely excellent match. It's just the stories that are surrounding the matches which are kind of clouding everything up. So the show starts tonight with the way it always starts. Roman Reigns comes out. He still doesn't have new music. He's still coming out flanked by Paul Heyman and Jey Uso. And to me, Paul Heyman feels useless to me. He showed his worth a little bit on this episode, but him just standing back there while Roman Reigns is cutting these great promos is just, it's kind of useless. You understand the need for Paul Heyman with a guy like Brock Lesnar. He's not needed with Roman Reigns. I thought he would have been gone by now. Unfortunately, that's not the case. But Roman Reigns wants to focus his attention on Adam Pearce, and he's pissed off at Adam Pearce for making Kevin Owens fight Jey Uso last week on the first show of the year. And he's pissed off at Adam Pearce because of the Gauntlet match tonight that he made. He accused Adam Pearce of thinking Vince McMahon is stupid, which that's not a crime. That's not anything to get all upset about. We all think Vince McMahon is stupid. I'm surprised that line even got over with the old man. But he probably thought it was funny. Ha ha ha! Have Roman call me stupid! Who knows? But this was kind of useless. They were setting up what was going to happen before the night was over. Roman was wondering if Adam Pearce wanted to be in the match, if Adam Pearce wants to have a match with Roman Reigns, and it was just kind of long. It was 20 minutes. This could have been wrapped up in 5. It was just a little long, a little overdrawn, and okay, we get it. We get it. Roman is great on the mic. We get it. Right? You don't have to kill us with it, with 20 minutes of him ragging on a guy that nobody wants to see in the first place, only to set up something that's kind of ridiculous by the time we get to the end of this show. First match of the night was Big E versus Apollo. I was not happy that they both got a jobber entrance. The Intercontinental Champion wasn't really shown out, coming out to the ring. As we came back from commercial, he was already in the ring with his logos all over the place. We missed the entrance of Apollo Crews completely. And then we had the double pin happen, which was followed up by a very pissed off Big E taking Apollo Crews to the woodshed and retaining the Intercontinental Championship. We got more Adam Pearce as he started to talk to the returning Sonya Deville in the back. She's walking around dressed better than Adam Pearce. She looks like a GM, and apparently I think she's his assistant now. He said something along the lines of, I'm glad we're going to be working together. He's got so much to do with these shows, because he's not officially been announced as the showrunner or the general manager, but we all know he really is the figurehead of the show, and now he's going to have Sonya Deville on his side, and she's wondering if he's going, or if he wants a match with the champ, and he's like, no, listen, I'm in no condition to be wrestling guys like Roman, and I don't really care. And this is just, I guess this could be interesting with Sonya Deville, but I feel like this girl's been through so much, she probably wants to get in that ring and start beating some people up, taking some of her aggressions out. This might not be the best way to use her, but I'm happy to see her back on the show. Can't wait to see her back in the ring, which is where I think she was just about to hit her stride. She was really getting good. I was enjoying what she was doing, and then unfortunately life happens. But here we are. Hopefully it goes somewhere good. As of right now, who knows? It was nice to see Bianca Belair. It would be nicer to see Bianca Belair featured in something that's really about Bianca Belair. Because at the end of the day, I know that Bianca got the last word, but you got Bianca Belair on camera for 1 minute, And she's interrupted by Bayley, who speaks for a good 45 seconds of that minute, giving Bianca only 10 seconds. I wish it was 10 minutes, giving her 10 seconds to say anything. And all right, she might have got a little bit of a burn-in at the end because, oh, if I win the Royal Rumble, I could have cashed it in on a champion as good as you, but you're not the champ anymore. Ooh, deep burn. She's better than that. And she deserves more than that. We didn't have a women's match tonight, and that might not be a bad thing, but we also didn't see Sasha Banks at all. We got to see Carmella and R-Truth 2.0 in the back, R-False, drinking champagne, talking about how Sasha Banks ain't in her league, which is ridiculous. And hasn't she beaten her like twice already? I'm so tired of this. There's so much better things that can be going on. Obviously, Bayley and Bianca Belair are going to get involved with each other in the Royal Rumble. This is leading to that, absolutely. Bianca will probably eliminate Bayley. It'll be just fine with me. But they need to feature Bianca Belair more than just a 1-minute segment where she's interrupted by somebody else. Not good to me. The Dirty Dogs! Rude and Zigglypuff defeat the Street Profits for the tag team championships. Like I said, they were dressed, the Dirty Dogs, in Heart Foundation colors. I guess Ziggler was tired of being compared to Shawn Michaels, so he would rather be compared to Brett. So he come out dressed in some pink and black attack pants, matching with Bobby Roode. And they win the tag team titles. I already discussed why this is a terrible idea and why it doesn't even really matter, because at the end of the day, there is no tag team division on either brand of this ridiculous company. We see Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman pulled some strings. This is where he finally shows some value to Roman Reigns. He pulls some strings and got Adam Pearce placed into the Gauntlet match. Whoop-de-doo. I wasn't really too happy about this. I'm still not, although I see what they're trying to do. And Roman Reigns came off as such a dick at the end of the show. Adam Pearce is getting a Universal title shot. We'll come back around to that towards the end. We got to see Billie Kay crying to the Riot Squad that she's useless, and we all know this. Nobody wants her, and 2021 is supposed to be a better year, but she doesn't think so, and I've already erased the rest of it from my brain. The Riot Squad said some shit. Billie Kay thinks she's part of the Riot Squad because she listens to Blink-182 or some ridiculous 1990s reference that was just completely wasting everybody's time. Then we had the very excellent Gauntlet match, and I'm trying to get my notes in position here so I could do this as accurately as possible. Kicking off with Rey Mysterio, number 1, going up against the number 2 guy, Sami Zayn, who, as I said at the beginning, got jobbed out here in seconds. After going on and on, walking to the ring, cutting a promo of how he's not being treated correctly. He demanded to be in this match. They weren't going to put him in this match, and he's not happy with the fact that WWE put him in this match so early. But it was all for nothing because he gets in the ring, 619, boom, Sami Zayn is out. Rey Mysterio advances to the third competitor, Shinsuke Nakamura, who stole the show on SmackDown tonight, showing the world why the WWE are fucking idiots. Because when you watch Shinsuke Nakamura tonight do what he did, and you watch him into the series of matches he gave us, versus Rey Mysterio, versus Daniel Bryan, and it makes you wish that they had an actual brain and that their brain wasn't in their ass, and that we've seen these things as long-term feuds with meaningful storytelling behind it, because the in-ring action that would accompany it, with Shinsuke versus Rey being as good as it was, you just want to see more. And it really is just too bad that this was wasted in this gauntlet. It could be so much more. If they're smart, they will take what they've seen tonight and give us a feud between Rey Mysterio and Shinsuke Nakamura. Shinsuke was so good tonight that he almost maybe have babyface momentum now. They might have to turn him because he was just fantastic. He got past Rey Mysterio, and then he gets to the fourth competitor, Constable King Dickhead Baron Corbin. And he ends up having a great match with Corbin as well. This was a very hard-hitting encounter, but Shinsuke would eliminate the Bald Wolf after a very, very intense matchup where I didn't think Shinsuke was making it out of that round for sure. King Corbin's one of Vince's favorite boys. I thought he was going to be the one we were going to see versus Daniel Bryan, and some stupid idiot shenanigans would ensue, but they made the right call here, and Shinsuke Nakamura gets past King Corbin. Thanks for coming. Then he gets the fifth and supposed to be final competitor, Daniel Bryan. And Shinsuke and Daniel put on a fantastic match. How Shinsuke even had it in him to have a match like that with Daniel Bryan after the two previous encounters he just had, you got to give hats off to Shinsuke Nakamura for a fantastic performance in the ring tonight. Although it did not make sense to have him win here. I understand that they were trying to tell this story, but as we mentioned briefly in the beginning of the show, this was a spot where they could have made Roman's heat even more nuclear by putting Daniel Bryan in this position and having him not succeed thanks to the interference of the tribal chief and his minions. But we had the Shinsuke Kinshasa to Daniel Bryan, gets the pin, only to have Roman and his clowns come out, get involved directly. This did not go the way I thought it was going to go. I thought Adam Pearce was going to come out and actually try to have a match with Shinsuke Nakamura, only for Roman and Jay to interfere at some point in there. However, it didn't go that way. Jay Uso immediately attacked Shinsuke Nakamura before Adam Pearce could even get out to the ring. Roman Reigns and his cousin just laid out Shinsuke. No chance for him to recover. Even more surprising was the fact that Adam Pearce got in the ring and he got super kicked right in the jaw and then was placed on top of Shinsuke. Roman told the referee to do his job. Even though Adam Pearce didn't want anything to do with it, he even came out and was like, listen, we don't have to do this. And Roman's like, no, we do what we want to do. This is my show. Get in there. And then he got his teeth knocked out. And then he covered Shinsuke Nakamura. And the record books will say that on this day in 2021 on SmackDown, Adam Pearce defeated Shinsuke Nakamura via pinfall for an opportunity at the Universal Championship. And you just gotta hope and pray. You gotta hope and pray that there's a backup plan in motion here. That somehow or another, as much as I don't really want to see Kevin Owens versus Roman Reigns again, I would rather see that than see Adam Pearce actually get a Universal Championship matchup. It's a joke. It's an absolute wasted match. You know he's not going to win. The only reason to tune in would be to see just how badly he gets eviscerated by the big dog. But that's not a Royal Rumble Championship main event to me. I know it certainly isn't to you. And it brings down the show. One of the things I say all the time that makes me more mad than anything is when I have a show full of incredible action and full of guys going out there killing themselves, and the stories that come with it don't do it justice. And at the end of the day, it brings down the rating of this SmackDown, which is why, as good as the action was 3 weeks out from the Royal Rumble, this episode gets a poop hammer. 100% down the board. Only for the booking decisions and the illogical, irrational decisions that they decided to make. But to the gentlemen that all took the ring tonight, you guys fucking killed it, man. And made me proud to watch these guys tonight. There was no matchup on this night that was filler or that felt unimportant, but it just doesn't really make sense how backwards they go about booking especially when there's a big four pay-per-view on the horizon. Hopefully they right the ship a little bit as we head down just 3 weeks out from my favorite pay-per-view of the year, the Royal Rumble. SmackDown, not its usual suck-down self, was mildly enjoyable. If you missed it and you want to see some good wrestling, go watch this show. But just fast forward anything that's not in-ring action and don't pay attention to the stories they're trying to tell because they continue to be trash. That's my final synopsis of tonight's episode of SmackDown. As always, we keep it real here. We talk about everything wrong with SmackDown. We're not here to gush about all the good things they do until they give us a show that's worthy of our gushing and our praise, because this show was not that. The action is definitely worth being praised, but the show of itself and big time failure. Thank you all so very much for joining me once again on another review of SmackDown here on Sledgehammer TV. My name is Nick Nightmare. This is the team Thor the Sledgehammer, the official Sledgehammer of the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. His tag team partner, the World Heavyweight Champion of all the microphones in all the world, Mr. Blue the Snowball, the most important member of the team, as always, each and every one of you Sledgeheads on the other side of this camera. And if you are not already a member of the coolest, newest, fastest growing faction in all of the internet wrestling community, you need to hit that subscribe button right now. If you never want to miss a video, make sure you hit that notification bell so you will be notified immediately every time one of our videos go live on this channel. And then share this video with anyone you think will get a kick out of it. Anyone that you know that hates the WWE and what they're doing as much as we do, send this video their way. Encourage them to show some love and to come join the Sledgehead army, of which is accumulated of every single one of you. You guys are awesome. You make watching wrestling worth it. No matter how bad it is, I know I can come here and unload on you guys, and you appreciate it. You get the humor, and you love it, and you keep coming back for more. We had a pretty good weekend on the channel, or pretty good week, rather, on the channel, and let's keep that momentum going. And I have you guys to thank for all of it. If you missed the Raw review, which I don't think most of you did, but if you have missed it, and maybe you're new here, first time here today, go check it out. It'll be linked in the annotations up above. That, my friends, is going to do it. We are out of here, and we will see you next time right here on your new favorite wrestling show, the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show, only on Sledgehammer TV, right here on YouTube.com. Boom.